Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. You watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Dainese Misano D-Air jacket, available at RevZilla.com. This is Dainese's first foray into airbag system technology for the street. It is part of their collection of jackets that take this technology. This is the D-Air powered Misano jacket from Dainese. Now, this is new, going into 2018. And what you're getting is the coupling of a hardcore, essentially top half of a two-piece race suit here in our Misano jacket that has the full Dainese D-Air system incorporated. Now, key differences with a D-Air system versus what you've seen on the racetrack. The racetrack has, I want to say, 4 or 5 liters of air that inject into it. The Dainese D-Air Misano jacket has 9 liters. And again, that injects in under a second. It's going to be measured in milliseconds, although Dainese has not told us how many milliseconds, to fully deploy, covering you not just in the collarbone and shoulders like you'd see on a race suit, but collarbone, shoulders, chest, down the ribs, down the kidneys, into the back. It is a much more full, almost double-sized deployment of this airbag system, which ultimately is computer controlled based on an algorithmic technology that knows whether you're low siding, knows whether you're high siding, and deploys this airbag mechanism inside the jacket, fully inflating it before you hit an object, before you hit the ground, ultimately allowing you to have the better ability to stay safe. Now, I will tell you that this jacket is a pretty penny. You're looking at ultimately, in our estimation, $800 to $1,000 jacket, which ultimately race or Dainese airbag technology on top of that. So that's gonna take the price point up here close to $1,600 or $1,700. And I will tell you that while it is a very sophisticated system, that is a big, big matzo ball when it comes to the investment of this technology, and you really need to think long and hard about it. I'll also tell you that unlike Alpine Stars, I'm just gonna come out and say it, Dainese fans, you can get upset with me, I'm a Dainese fan too. In Alpine Stars, you buy their Tech Air vest for the street or for the race, whichever orientation of jacket you're going with, and you can switch it between jackets in their line. For Dainese, you're buying incorporated systems. So this is the Misano D-Air, there's also the Cyclone D-Air, which is their Gore-Tex version. There will be other jackets along the way that we see this technology in, but you're not able to buy this D-Air Misano jacket and then take out the airbag vest system and incorporate it into another airbag accepting jacket from Dainese. It is looked at as a closed system and a singular unit. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to go into the nuances and pros and cons of what I see about this system. I'm going to do that after Fitment, but before I get there, we're looking at D-Skin Leather 2.0, which is, again, the highest race grade leather that Dainese used. Safety stitched, you're looking at a perf version, which is localized, a non-perf version, lots of stretch panels, and again, composite armor in shoulder, elbow, forearm with hard parts, as well as a Pro Armour back protector, which takes it to CE level 2, incorporated in this jacket. That is the basics. Couple this with a pair of leather pants, and you are headed to the track with a two-piece suit. Now, briefly about Fitment, and then I'm going to dive into the nuance of the race suit, because there's some things that work well and some things that we don't love about it. Now, fit-wise, I have my man Santini to my left, 5'6", 160. He hits the gym, 39-inch chest. This jacket fits about a half size big. So we actually have him wearing a size 46, where in other Dainese jackets, he might wear a 46 or a 48. Keep that in mind. If you're in between sizes like he was, go to the smaller size and that'll work for you. And a note about Fitment, the neck on this guy is kind of big, and that's to make room for that D-Air technology and allow it to inflate. So just keep that in mind. The fit of it is going to be more of that race fit, but there's extra room at the neck. Again, there's a lot of stretch here, but depending on how you're built, you're going to have room to move. Ultimately, lots of stretch keeps it flexible. And keep in mind, use the size chart. You can always help us if you want us to walk through the suit, or the jacket rather, or the Fitment, which on this one can be a hair trickier. We're going to ship for free over 39 bucks, and I'd love if you could click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel, leave me your comments, your questions, or your feedback on this Dainese Misano D-Air jacket, or again, subscribe to us, don't miss out. Now, diving into the jacket itself, let's talk D-Air system. What do I love about it? It deploys in under a second. What do I love about it? It's not mechanically tethered to the bike. What do I love about it? The charging time is anywhere from 8 to 16 hours for a full charge. Again, you can get it to quick charge mode by spending, I want to say 4 hours gives you 8 hours of usage, or gets you 80% of the battery. Ultimately, it turned green. You trickle charge it the rest of the way, you're going to get that blue, up to 24 hours of full coverage and powered. And notice here on the arm, that's how you can tell your battery status, whether it's armed or not. And if I open this up, you're going to see there's a magnet that arms it on or off inside of it. I love the fact chest, kidney, ribs, shoulders, back, they've covered everything for more street riding conditions, which is great. Now, if I dive into it and I compare and contrast other technologies I've seen on the market, let me lead with a couple things that I think they could improve. I already called out the fact that it's not modular. I can't take out this D-Air system and put it in another Dainese D-Air workable jacket or compatible jacket. That's something that over time, if that's Dainese's take on it, it's kind of the closed system might be Apple versus the open system, which might have been Microsoft. There's pros and cons to both. They have more control over it, but ultimately that flexibility, if you're a hardcore rider spending almost $2,000 on a jacket, chances are you probably have some other Dainese gear. The other thing I'm going to call out is one use case that kind of threw us for a bit of a loop, and that's the fact that this guy doesn't arm until you're moving at least 6 miles per hour. So it's GPS powered. So ultimately that's great. Close the jacket, it's not going to artificially deploy. If you're at a stop sign, you tip over your bike, it's not going to artificially deploy on you, because ultimately once it deploys, you do have to send it back for $250 and allow them to repack it. But ultimately that $250 probably saved you a lot of energy and a lot of injury, so that's probably worth it. But here's my gripe with it. And this is where I'll say Alpine Stars has this use case dialed in, which is that I'm sitting at a stop sign and some person, notice no derogatory terms, some person, because I think we've all done it at this point, is texting, didn't see, and rams you at a standstill because you are no longer going 6 miles per hour. This will not deploy if you're hit while standing still. What happens is you come to a stop. You're at that stop for 5 seconds of non-movement. The GPS inside that knows that you're stopped, it deactivates the airbagged arm. So ultimately, unless you're within 5 seconds of coming to a stop and get hit, if you're hit after that 5-second grace period, you are ultimately going to not have deployment. And again, taking away the use case of protecting you if you're at a standstill and you get clobbered by someone potentially of no fault of their own, hitting you while stopped. That's a toughie for me. The other thing that's a little tough is turn around there, Santini. If I turn Santini around all the way to the back, we're going to bring you back, but I want to talk about this. If you are hit while standing still and this does not deploy, if it fully deploys, I don't mind that the air power canister is down here right behind the Dainese logo. I really don't mind that it's there because it's going to be encapsulated in air when this deployed. But in that use case where you're stopped and you get hit, you do have a canister of the air that powers the suit, which creates a hard part right against your lumbar vertebrae. And ultimately, that's something that does not have a back protector on top of it. It creates an area that could deliver more pounds per square inch of pressure in a concentrated way to the small of your back. It's a decision that you're going to have to make. Dainese, everything's a work in progress. Your airbag suit, Alpine Star's airbag suit, when you're on the leading edge, you can't solve all use cases, but it is something that jumped out to me that hopefully we see them improve upon over time. Or potentially just give us the ability to turn off the 5 seconds of lag time, the 5-second grace period, and keep it armed at a standstill. I'd rather have it armed at a standstill, connect it via USB, send it in for the toggle. Ultimately, there's got to be a way that they can give someone the option to toggle that off, and that solves the problem. It solves the canister, it solves the use case of stopped at a stoplight. Come back around. Now, the other thing I want to call out, which ultimately bugged me a little bit, and it's less egregious as some of the other things. And again, to me, the other things aren't deal breakers. They're just choices that you have to make when you compare and contrast the D-Air technology, is the fact that the vest, which takes the back protector, the D-Air technology also has the shoulder armor in it. So when you have had a deployment and you need to send this jacket back to Dainese, you're not going to be able to ride in the outer jacket. While the outer jacket has the hard parts and has the elbow and forearm armor, your shoulder armor underneath these hard parts goes with the vest. So you're sending ultimately everything back to them, and it's kind of taking you out of commission. So ultimately, I would have loved the fact that if you happen to have an off, there's not a lot of damage to the jacket. Keep riding in the jacket, send back the vest for a multi-week turnaround as they not repair, but really reconfigure your airbag unit after deployment. You don't have that option. Ultimately, so when your vest deploys, it does take the jacket out of commission. But I will tell you that Dainese will request that you send the jacket back as well as the vest, because what they're going to do is they're going to say for $250 we're going to repair the airbag and make that redeployable, put it back to square one, but we're also going to assess the damage on your jacket because they don't want you riding around in a damaged Dainese jacket with a reconfigured airbag. They're going to need to give you a price to fix everything. So ultimately, the airbag system, fully functional, you can see it's armed, it deploys in less than a second. It does a lot of what we've seen other airbag technologies, and ultimately I'll just call it out, the leading edge there with Dainese is Alpine Stars, the first to come to market. We've seen Speedy do an airbag, we've seen the Helite vests, which are more mechanical or add on later. These guys are using computer technology that ultimately give you the best result, which is a deployment between impact and crash. But ultimately, there are other things to be worked out along the way. Now, once we've hit on airbag, and remember, you can always contact us to walk through the rest of the nuances, let's dive into the jacket itself. We talked about the D-skin technology, which is that upgraded D-skin, gives you a better tensile strength and a better tear resistant. Again, it's a proprietary tanning process from Dainese. You have localized perforation, it doesn't create stress points, a lot of room for expansion in this jacket. Hand warmer pockets, very aggressive profile. Notice, entry and exit through the wrist is going to be on the medial side. Turn the face away from me there, Santini. I feel like a bit of the jacket, it's not an afterthought, but if you're watching this video, you are most likely a Dainese hardcore aficionado, and you understand what goes into a ultimately pro-level top half of a two-piece suit. Micro-elastication, adding flex without bulk. You see it on the back side of the arm tricep. You see it on the top of the shoulder in the trap area. Again, composite armor all the way down the forearms, and if Eric goes like that with his arm, you're going to see bi-elasticated panels all the way down, giving you that stretch. There's just a lot of stretch baked into this jacket. You do have vents along the side, which are a nice touch to add additional airflow in the hotter times of the year, and you have massive panels of micro perforation that's localized, again, alongside of the back. Go backwards for me. I did talk about the Composite Pro Armour, which is in this, and when you see it and you get this jacket and you open it up, you're going to see the Pro Armour is CE level 2. It's honeycomb, it's very breathable, but right around the center line, right up around here, you're going to have your accelerometer, your computer, everything that controls the unit and controls the deployment that sends the message to the canister in, again, we're talking thousands of seconds to deploy between you. The computer will know that you're going down ultimately before you know that you're going down. It's going to work faster than your brain can react, hence the beauty of having all of that race and crash data that they've analyzed over years. The first time we saw people talking about a road-oriented tech air vest or a D-Air system, again, Alpine Stars and Dainese, we saw that about a decade ago. It's been an arms race getting it to market. It came to market earlier in the EU. They've now perfected it for the American market. As the rider, it is a major investment, but ultimately, like all things technology-driven, costs should come down over time. We love that it exists, and we hope it becomes more attainable. And again, you're spending whichever camp you fall in, the Italians that are technology-centric, pushing the progression of the sport and safety. If we look at the top of our hump, it's a non-perforated hump. It uses a stretch panel across the top of it, stretch panel across the neck, again, lowering the profile. You can see the drop seat here and some light adjustability down across the waist. Santines, come around to the front. Let's unzip this bad boy. If he comes back to the front, you're going to unzip it. You're going to see your D-Air mechanism on the inside. Notice, secondary zipper. This is the D-Air vest, which does have the shoulder armor incorporated, so you need to leave it in when you're riding with it. If we unzip it, you're going to see there's my neodymium snap. Notice that it's going to deactivate down there. That's how you zip it up. That snap makes that positive connection, closing the circuit and ultimately powering the jacket. You do have some chest protection that comes here stock, and if we open it to the inside, 270-degree zipper, large weave perforation to wick sweat away, but here's ultimately your D-Air system. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo these snaps, which are seated on the inside here. You see, you're not gonna be taking this vest out a lot, so I'm okay with the fact that it's not the most ergonomic to get out, because you're not gonna be doing it while riding, you're not gonna be pulling it out when you get warm. Ultimately, if you're wearing this jacket, you're wearing it with the armor incorporated, but here is the inner guts of the D-Air system. Micro mesh, wicking on the inside, comfortable ergonomic, nice big hole at the top for your neck, and notice that Pro Armor is incorporated on top of the shoulder and on top of the vest. Part of me wonders if they did that on purpose to force you to have to send the jacket back for evaluation, because they know if they've had a deployment on the vest, the jacket needs to be looked at to make sure the stitching is held up and you don't have any low spots in the leather based on how you might have slid and how you might have come off. So it might have been a forcing function from Dainese and intentional. Hopefully they let us know that, but it might make sense to me that they'd go that route. Ultimately, notice premium D-skin leather on the inside, that 2.0. You have that stretch along the back side. And ultimately, the inside of this jacket is really no frills, as they've made room for ultimately a groundbreaking and leading edge technology within motorcycling, which is a computer controlled airbag system with the D-Air unit that allows you to, in under a second, via computer, like I said, it knows you're crashing before you do, it deploys and protects your vital organs and your bones and lots of the things that typically get jacked up, whether you hit the bike, whether you hit a car, whether you hit the curb, whether you slide. Ultimately, you're going to be, whether you flip off in a terrible high side, ultimately you're going to have a lot of protection that you don't normally have. You can try to zip that bad boy up, but there's a lot going on there. Ultimately, remember, My gripes with this ultimately were going to be the I'm not stopped use case and the canister use case. Ultimately, outside of that, it is well executed. And remember, you can't use this system in other Dainese jackets. That we would call that modularity. All in, though, it is well executed. It is industry-leading technology, and ultimately Dainese, if you buy one of these, is here to support you in the long haul with maintenance. Every 5 years it needs a checkup, and ultimately a quickish turnaround if you have a deployment and need it repacked. You're going to send it out to Costa Mesa, California. Now, the next step in your journey is click the info button, desktop, mobile device. Visit the product detail page at RevZilla.com. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. As always, we'll ship free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown of the Dainese Misano D-Air jacket. Don't forget to subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our opinion, truly, of the latest and greatest in the motorcycle universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.